Plato was quoted as saying, "Necessity, the mother of invention." I'm inclined to apply this quote to our current circumstances. The United States, as I mentioned in my last solo podcast, is not the melting pot it once was. Instead, we seem to find ourselves regressing to a period where it was very clear that drastic measures would be necessary to ensure our civil liberties. In 1861 to 1865, the country fought for the freedom of African Americans. During the 1950s and 60s, there was a struggle for social justice for Black Americans to gain equal rights in the United States. Each situation occurred out of necessity. Out of the Civil War came the innovation of freedom. The civil rights movement yielded equal rights. Today, I want to look at the role of necessity in leadership. Are we prepared to do something different to get a different result? Change is a natural part of life. It can happen slow and steady or fast and reckless. From my perspective, you can disagree if you like. Let's go ahead and talk about that in my forum. I'll leave a link down below. In my opinion, though, society is playing fast and loose with our civil liberties and basic human rights. You're listening to this podcast because you want to be, or you already are, a leader. Necessity plays a role in our leadership. We have to prepare ourselves for the change or the invention that will soon follow. From the rise of AI to the climate crisis and the rollback of DEI practices, today's leaders navigate a landscape defined by constant upheaval. The upheaval that change causes can be minimized if we commit to a concise communication amongst our peers, colleagues, and within our communities. Focusing on transparent behaviors that show the realities of our circumstances will serve as a beacon for others to be honest about theirs. This practice could break down the barriers of disinformation and suspicion holding a lot of our communities hostage. The world has become very, very tech-driven. To lead in this environment, we have to build and maintain strong relationships with those around us. Additionally, leaders have to be adaptable. The power of adaptability helps us thrive and embrace change as an opportunity for growth, fostering flexibility, and a willingness to pivot. Adaptability is the ability to adjust to new conditions, embrace change, and thrive in different environments. It involves being open-minded, flexible, and willing to step outside of our comfort zone. I recently was shared a video of President Obama. It suggested that it was time to actually step outside of our comfort zone. He said he believed that we found ourselves in these current circumstances because we become complacent, comfortable. It's been nearly 60 years since the end of the historical civil rights movement. And that was the last major fight the African Americans, our community, had to fight with vigor. And for the invention of our equal rights in this country. Now, yes, I did use the word invention because the fight was a necessity. And as Plato said, necessity is the mother of invention. Only you know the type of leader you want to be. On this podcast, I merely want to encourage you to constantly evolve and be open to failing forward so that you can realize your purpose. Do you recognize areas where you can adapt? Where can you step outside of your comfort zone and become the change you want to see? The next thing I want you to think about is the fact that necessity sometimes requires resourcefulness. As a leader in this environment, we're not defined by what we have, but how we make the most of our available resources. Now, I want to encourage you to take inventory of those you surround yourself with. If necessity requires resourcefulness, are they valuable resources? Do they enhance your life or do they take away from your life? If there comes a time when you have to step outside of your comfort zone, are they going to stand with you or are they going to run for the hills in the opposite direction? I want to empower you with the reality that you are enough. God made you special and He made you with a purpose in mind. If you've not discovered your purpose, start that journey because, as Shazia said last week in our podcast episode, you don't owe anyone anything. Being resourceful also means that you educate yourself and you're prepared. This time in our lives requires that we stay ready. We don't have time to get ready. So I want you to continue to pour into yourself. Don't stop learning, growing, listening, because oftentimes if you just listen, you'll hear things that are going to help you. If you just listen, keep your ears to the ground. Discover what it means to be you. Unstoppable, unique, unafraid. If Plato was right and necessity is the mother of invention, we've come to a crossroads where there is a need for us to step out of our comfort zone and evolve. We can't sit in our mediocrity anymore. We have to take control of our destiny. It's time to start communicating concisely, being more transparent within our communities so that we can build trust. And it's time for us to become resourceful. That's all I have for you today. I want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of the CEO Mindset Podcast. I want you to join me next week for more empowering, encouraging, and educational insight that helps you constantly evolve and be open to failing forward. Thanks again for listening, guys, and I'll see you back next week.